As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles, which have meant so much to me.
It's been more than a decade since Prince William and Catherine first stepped into the spotlight.
Prince William and Princess Catherine, the first to greet President Trump and the First Lady as they landed by helicopter at Windsor Castle.
Their wedding was watched by millions and their every move dissected by the press.
What is that, an MG?
So William's driving his bride back to Kuwait Heir.
What unfolded at Windsor Castle this October was unlike anything the world has seen before. What happens when the heir to the throne begins to act less like a prince and more like a king in waiting?
Please welcome to the coronation concert stage, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
And what does it mean when the woman at his side proves she is ready to reign as Britain's next queen? Join us as we discuss how hosting the Kuwaiti Heir shows the world that Prince William is ready to take on more responsibilities. William commands Windsor's stage. Catherine loves the Windsor Castle and spends most of her time there. So showing visitors around the historic halls and beautiful gardens became something she did with real passion, because she wanted others to see what made it so special to her. Royal watchers everywhere have been talking about what just happened at Windsor Castle, and millions of monarchy fans paid close attention. Windsor Castle's massive grounds looked stunning that day, and right in the middle of everything stood Prince William, taking charge not just as the heir to the British throne, but as the person clearly steering the monarchy's direction next. October 2025 might go down as a turning point, because what happened during those few days felt less like regular royal duties and more like the start of something entirely new for the British monarchy. William arrived with Catherine by his side, and together they greeted His Highness Sheikh Sabah al-Khaled al-Hamad al-Sabah, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, in what appeared to be just another diplomatic meeting, but actually meant much more than that. To really understand this moment, it helps to know that for months now, questions have been building around the British monarchy and what comes next for the institution. King Charles has shown strength while dealing with personal health issues that even a crown cannot protect against, as he handles ongoing cancer treatment while still managing all the duties that come with being king.
Received breaking news from Buckingham Palace, which has announced that the king has been diagnosed with cancer.
People close to the palace have been talking quietly about what they call a soft transition, a term that keeps popping up in tabloid articles and late-night briefings where reporters and royal watchers try to figure out what the monarchy is planning. The handoff of duties from father to son has been happening slowly but steadily, and anyone paying attention has seen the gradual change in who shows up at which events and who speaks for the crown on big national and international issues. Then this Windsor welcome happened and changed everything, as William showed up at the castle not as someone waiting for his turn, but as the official host who was running the show on all the protocol and ceremony. Catherine stood next to her husband, looking great, and the way she carried herself throughout the event showed the kind of quiet strength she had developed over the years in the royal spotlight. Together, they handled the reception with confidence and authority that made it clear this was not just a one-time event, but a glimpse into what the monarchy would be like when the generational shift is complete. The world watched as these two people, who have been preparing for years, showed they are ready for what is coming and are already taking on those responsibilities with skill that gives both fans and critics something to feel good about. What happened at Windsor wasn't just a formal event. It showed that things are changing behind the scenes. With world leaders now dealing directly with William, how much has the shift already taken place? The crown is closer than ever. The Crown Prince of Kuwait is not just another guest stopping by for a quick visit, as he is a key figure in Gulf diplomacy, and his trip to Windsor shows how important Britain is in connecting different parts of an unstable world. William was running the show, making calls and handling things that normally the king would take care of. The big moment came hours later when William and Catherine put out a video that felt pretty raw and honest, talking about the power shift happening inside the palace and making it pretty clear that William becoming king is not something way down the road, but actually coming a lot sooner than most people want to admit. This is not just rumors or guessing. The monarchy is actually changing itself to deal with a king whose age and health issues mean the heir needs to be ready to step up and take charge. William is doing a lot more than just greeting important visitors at royal properties, because he is staking out his place on the global stage with Catherine right there as an equally important part of this shift. That afternoon at Windsor, plus the personal video they put out later, adds up to something bigger than just one news cycle, as it shows the next phase of the monarchy will combine strong leadership with real openness and honesty. The crown is getting closer to William with each month that passes, and what went down at Windsor makes that fact too obvious to ignore anymore. To understand why William's Windsor reception matters, it helps to look back at changes over the past few years. King Charles's coronation in 2023 was full of tradition, but behind the scenes, people were quietly concerned about his age and energy. That night, William gave a serious speech promising to support his father, the country, and the Commonwealth. Charles became king at 74, after waiting longer than any other heir, and his reign has focused on environmental issues and small steps to modernize the monarchy. The talk about Charles's health that began as rumors turned into major headlines when the palace announced in spring 2024 that he had cancer, though they never said what kind or how bad it was. Charles stepped back from a lot of public appearances, but still made himself visible through video messages and selected events when he felt strong enough. William picked up the extra work without making a fuss, attending everything from Earthshot Prize ceremonies to D-Day commemorations as his calendar filled up to cover what his father could not handle anymore. Sources close to the family told papers like The Times about late-night meetings at Adelaide Cottage, where William went through briefing papers while Catherine kept things stable with her calm way of handling the growing demands. This handoff of duties was not happening all at once or in a messy way, but was being put together slowly and on purpose, step by step, like building something designed to stand for a long time. By the middle of 2025, it was clear that William was taking on more than just backup duties. With Charles hinting at passing down more responsibilities,
As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles which have meant so much to me.
was this when William really began to take the lead? William plants his royal flag. Back in summer 2025, Charles and William showed up together at a Commonwealth summit where Charles dropped some hints about passing along duties in ways that were pretty clear, even though he was being diplomatic about it. What he said was polite, but everyone understood what he meant. William started handling more areas like foreign affairs, environmental policy, and even getting briefed on defense matters that the king usually takes care of alone. Catherine's position changed as well, going from being supportive on the sidelines to being a real partner in the work. Her battle with cancer in 2024 made her tougher, and that strength now helps William with everything he takes on. The two of them have turned into the main team for the monarchy, dealing with things that Charles used to handle by himself. The personal cost of all this adds real depth to how things are changing. People close to the family say William is taking on these duties, not just because he has to, but because he wants to protect his father. He is watching Charles deal with illness and the relentless passage of time. A former palace staff member told Vanity Fair that every handshake William gives now shows what Charles taught him about doing duty with genuine care and leading with compassion. William's growing sense of duty is clear in how he manages big events and official tasks. Now that he's stepping into roles his father used to handle, is this when he starts leading for real? William steps into power. Over the past year, Prince William has been busy with official duties. He hosted several investiture ceremonies at Windsor Castle and Buckingham Palace, handing out honors and awards on behalf of King Charles. The recipients included athletes, doctors, charity workers, and others who've made a big impact in the UK. In December, William went to Kuwait for the funeral of Emir Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, representing the royal family at the event.
Funeral prayers have been held in Kuwait for Emir Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Sabah, who died at the age of 86 on Saturday.
Then in June 2024, during the 18th anniversary of D-Day, William stood in for King Charles at the international ceremony held at Omaha Beach. He joined leaders like President Joe Biden and French President Emmanuel Macron. Doctors had advised that attending both the British and international events would be too much for Charles while he was undergoing cancer treatment. William also attended the Canadian commemorative ceremony at Juno Beach, where he paid tribute to veterans and laid a wreath. King Charles officially handed over his role as Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps to William at a ceremony at the Army Aviation Center in Middle Wallop in May 2024, marking another formal transfer of military responsibilities from father to son. There's been talk in the media and among the public about whether Prince William might take on more responsibility or if a formal regency could be set up, but nothing official has been announced. Over time, William has grown into a confident figure who speaks out on major issues in Britain and beyond. Back in 2014, he started United for Wildlife to fight illegal wildlife trafficking. In 2023, he joined the group's global summit in Singapore, meeting with leaders from conservation, law enforcement, and government. That same year in June, he introduced Homewards, a 5-year initiative aimed at tackling homelessness across the UK. The Royal Foundation is working to show that homelessness can be tackled by making it uncommon, short-term, and not something people go through more than once. Prince William has also been active on environmental topics, especially through the Earthshot Prize. His speeches, including those at the D-Day events, have shown he can speak clearly and respectfully about themes like sacrifice, duty, and international cooperation. The fact that he is now running these diplomatic events instead of just helping his father shows that real governing power has already moved to him in important ways, making his future as king feel less like something far off, and more like a change that is already happening. William's titles through the years. Prince William was born with the title of British Prince and was known as Prince William of Wales for many years. That changed in April 2011 when he married Catherine Middleton. On their wedding day, Queen Elizabeth II gave him 3 new titles: Duke of Cambridge, Earl of Strathearn, and Baron Carrickfergus. These titles were officially confirmed on May 26, 2011, marking a shift in his role within the royal family, and giving him hereditary positions tied to different parts of the UK. When King Charles became monarch on September 8, 2022, Prince William automatically gained several new titles as the king's eldest son. These included the Duke of Cornwall, the Duke of Rothesay, the Earl of Carrick, Baron of Renfrew, Lord of the Isles, and the Prince and Great Steward of Scotland. The titles were passed on by tradition and law, so no ceremony or announcement was needed. Between September 8th and 9th, William was officially known as His Royal Highness the Duke of Cornwall and Cambridge. On September 9th, King Charles announced that William would become Prince of Wales, a title traditionally given to the heir to the British throne. Since then, William has been called His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales across most of the UK. In Scotland, though, he's referred to as His Royal Highness the Duke of Rothesay when carrying out official duties. The formal documents confirming his new titles, including Earl of Chester, weren't issued until February 13, 2023, even though he had already been using the Prince of Wales title in public for months. In addition to his royal titles, Prince William holds several honors that reflect his role and service within the UK. He's a Royal Knight Companion of the Order of the Garter, Britain's oldest and most senior chivalric order. In Scotland, he's recognized as an extra knight of the Order of the Thistle, which is the country's top honor. He also serves as Great Master of the Order of the Bath, a respected military and civil order. William is part of the Privy Council, which advises the monarch on state matters. On top of that, he holds the ceremonial role of personal aide-de-camp to the king, showing his close connection to the monarch and his part in representing the crown. Along with his official titles, William's popularity has always played a big role in how people see him, with tradition on one side and strong public support on the other. Could this be what makes him different from past heirs? William's enduring public appeal. William has been a favorite among the British public since the day he was born and has maintained that popularity throughout his entire life in the royal spotlight. Growing up in full view of the world, he earned a reputation as a heart-throb during his young adult years and was considered one of the most eligible bachelors around, much like his father had been in an earlier generation. Ruth Laferla, from the New York Times, noted how William had a refined and polite kind of appeal that stood in sharp contrast to the bad boy image that celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio had during that same era. After he married Catherine, his public image changed noticeably as he took on a more settled and fatherly presence, giving the impression that he had moved into a stable and contented domestic life. Anne McElvoy has noted that Prince William balances being easygoing with a more serious side when the situation calls for it. He also reflects his mother's way of connecting with others through his personal style. Instead of spending most of his time on formal events and smaller causes, he focuses on larger projects that he sees as having real impact, which he refers to as big bet initiatives. In a 2016 interview, William said he aimed to keep the royal family relevant over the next 2 decades by adjusting to how the world is changing. The Times described his work with Catherine as a solid partnership, with both of them committed to keeping their home life grounded, while also managing how they're seen in public. Time magazine recognized William's global influence in 2011 by including him and his newlywed wife, Catherine, on their list of the most influential people in the world. In August 2023, a survey conducted by Gallup Inc. asked Americans about their opinions on 15 well-known public figures and found that William was the most popular among all of them. YouGov polling showed him as the favorite member of the royal family in December 2022 and again in September 2023, though by April 2024 he had slipped to second place in those same rankings. The Daily Telegraph included William on its annual list of best-dressed celebrities in December 2024, recognizing his consistent sense of style. In 2025, Time magazine included William and Catherine on its first-ever Time 100 philanthropy list, recognizing the impact of their charitable efforts. That same year, they topped Tatler's Social Power Index, which ranks influence among cultural and high society figures. These recognitions show how William has stayed relevant across different groups, from the general public to major institutions, while shaping a public role that blends royal tradition with a modern focus on meaningful causes. Long before they were recognized for their influence and charitable work, William and Catherine were just 2 students building a bond at university. Looking back at how it all began, is that early connection what shaped the way they lead today? William and Catherine's love story. William met Catherine Middleton in 2001 while they were both staying at St. Salvator's Hall as students at the University of St. Andrews. Their friendship came first, and things slowly turned romantic. In 2002, a charity fashion show at the university is said to be the moment that caught William's attention. By their second year, they were sharing a flat with 2 friends, which helped them grow closer through everyday life. They started dating in 2003 and spent the next couple of years living together at Balgove House with 2 roommates, setting the stage for a relationship that would later draw global attention. William and Catherine spent quiet time together at Tam Nagar, a cottage on the Balmoral estate that William received from the Queen Mother. It became their private getaway, far from the spotlight. In 2004, they briefly broke up, but soon got back together and kept building their relationship. The media followed their story closely, and William even asked reporters to give Catherine and her family some privacy. In December 2006, she and her family attended his military graduation at Sandhurst. But by April 2007, news came out that they had split again. Catherine showed up with her family at the concert for Diana in July 2007, just a few months after reports said she and William had split. Not long after, it was confirmed they were back together. In June 2008, she was at Windsor Castle for the Order of the Garter ceremony, where William was honored as a royal knight, marking another key moment they shared. By 2010, they had moved into a cottage on the Bedorgan estate in Anglesey, Wales, where they lived until 2014, while William focused on his military work. That October, during a trip to Kenya, William proposed at a cabin on Mount Kenya after finishing his RAF search and rescue training. The engagement was officially announced on November 16, 2010, and William gave Catherine the same ring that once belonged to Princess Diana. Their wedding took place at Westminster Abbey on April 29, 2011, and was watched by hundreds of millions around the world, including 26 million viewers in the UK. After getting married, they lived at Nottingham Cottage before moving into apartment 1A at Kensington Palace in 2013, following major renovations. The Queen also gave them Anmer Hall on the Sandringham estate, where they stayed from 2015 to 2017. Kensington Palace remained their main home until 2022, but now they live at Adelaide Cottage in Windsor, where they focus on raising their 3 children in a quieter setting. As William and Catherine settled into a quieter life at Adelaide Cottage, their public roles started to grow. Could this be the moment when people began to see William as the future king? Britain watches. William take charge. UK media gave major attention to the Windsor reception, with coverage that made it seem like William and Catherine were already stepping into the roles of king and queen, even though Charles is still officially in charge. TV analysts broke down how they handled the event, pointing to signs that power is starting to shift. Online, the reaction was huge, with people debating whether William is ready to lead and what kind of king he might be. For many, this wasn't just another royal appearance. It looked like a glimpse of what's coming next for the monarchy. Reactions to William's rising role showed a clear split between age groups. Older Britons saw it as a sign that the monarchy is passing on smoothly. Younger people looked at the same moment and saw signs of change, viewing it as a step toward updating an institution that often feels behind the times. This difference shows the challenge ahead for William as he works to keep tradition intact, while also showing that the monarchy can still matter today. Some political writers saw the Windsor reception as part of a bigger picture, showing how the monarchy is trying to keep up with changes in British life, politics, and the economy. They pointed out that the country is facing financial struggles, changing views on identity and values, and ongoing questions about its global role after Brexit. The monarchy has to deal with all of this while holding on to tradition. Some experts think William's growing role could help the royal family adjust, while others wonder if modern updates are enough to keep public support for a system based on inheritance in a time when democracy matters more than ever. People who closely follow the royal family saw the Windsor event as a preview of William stepping into the top role. Online groups broke down every moment, looking for signs of how he might lead when the time comes. Many felt confident that he's ready and that Catherine fits the role of queen consort well, especially after how they handled the Kuwaiti visit. As royal fans looked closely at William's role during the Windsor event, news from other countries showed how his actions were being noticed worldwide. Could this be the point where William starts shaping how Britain is seen around the world? Global media covers Windsor welcome. Middle Eastern media gave a lot of attention to the Crown Prince of Kuwait's visit to Windsor Castle. Reports highlighted that the event showed Britain's ongoing support for its ties with Kuwait and the Gulf region. Kuwaiti outlets saw William hosting the visit as a sign that the relationship will stay strong, even as leadership shifts in Britain. Experts pointed out that the UK has been a key ally since the Gulf War, and William's role sent a clear message of stability. Coverage also suggested that Kuwait sees William as a reliable figure for future diplomatic and economic cooperation. News outlets in the US and Europe focused on the Windsor event as an example of Britain using soft power to stay influential globally. American papers looked at how the country is trying to rebuild its image after Brexit and political issues, with the royal family playing a key role in diplomacy. European coverage compared Britain's strategy to other countries, pointing out that the royals helped the UK stand out and connect with foreign leaders. Overall, the reports showed that William and Catherine are starting to play a bigger part in representing Britain internationally, even as the country deals with economic and political challenges. News outlets in parts of Africa and Asia, especially Commonwealth countries, paid close attention to the Windsor reception and what it might mean for their ties with Britain. Places like Australia, Canada, New Zealand, India, and several African nations looked at how William's rising role could shape their future relationship with the monarchy. Some reports were hopeful that he could bring a new style to Commonwealth connections, while others raised doubts about whether the monarchy still fits with how these countries see themselves today. The event sparked wider discussions about whether keeping royal links is still the right path. What do you think about William stepping into such a prominent role while his father, King Charles, is still on the throne? Do you believe this transition is happening too quickly, or is it the right move given the king's health challenges? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen.